Well, welcome everyone. I am here with Major Greg Thompson. He's the divisional commander with the Salvation Army. Thank you for joining me today.
No problem.
So I know you guys are really kind of on the front lines, like so many different nonprofits, but let's just briefly talk about the Salvation Army and who do you serve?
Well, here's our mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and meet human need in his name without discrimination. So who do I serve? I pretty much serve everyone. And that's kind of what we do. But our basic crowd is what we prefer to call the most marginalized in Omaha. We usually get the most marginalized people who are simply on the edge or on the fringe, and they really need the most service. And that allows us to really help the most people in need with whatever they need.
Yeah.
And that's really where we are. That's where we are most of the time.
Right, right. And I think right now, I mean, what we're dealing with is just unprecedented. It's just, we've never seen anything like this before. So let's talk a little bit about how COVID-19, the pandemic, has impacted your organization, first of all.
Well, I think most of all, it's impacted the regular things that we do. One of the things we do is we do what we call material assistance. That involves food, housing, staying in your housing, getting people housing. Some of it even involves connecting people with other organizations that can help them with broader things that we're not able to help with. And so there's some case management that goes on there. All of those things have actually been elevated throughout this pandemic. What's mostly been elevated has been food. That has been one of the larger elevations that have happened to us. At our center at 61st and Northwest Radio, we serve families who come to us and they get food pantry there. So normally we would have it's normally a walk-through pantry. It's self-choice and you can pick what you need. But in this case, because of the pandemic, we're putting a box together and giving it to the family in the car as they come by. What's changed there is that the amount has risen almost 144%.
Okay.
Is the number of people who are coming through at that particular location. And what we're seeing there is a different, and I say this, I'm not quite sure how to say this, but a different type of client is coming through.
Okay.
It's actually the people who would sometimes be the donors who say, let me help you help somebody else. But now for the first time, they're saying, I don't know what I'm going to do, so I better find somewhere. And several of our staff there are saying, we're getting people every day who are saying, I've never done this before. And so we're able to help them and give them extra things or send them to different places or put them in touch with a case manager from our organization to see if we can help them through any larger issues they might be having. So that's kind of been one of the needs there. We also have a large lunch and dinner feeding program at our Omaha North Core, which is at 24th and Pratt. Mm-hmm. That has increased threefold over the last month to almost 5,000 meals a month, which is kind of unheard of for us. But it's kind of happened, and so people are just feeling, and I think people are just feeling this. Will I have enough? Will I have enough? Will I get through this? And will the supplies still be there? And I think the opportunity for us as a Salvation Army to say, you know what, we've been there. We were there before. We're there throughout the pandemic, and we will be there after the pandemic is over, and we'll still be there to assist you as you go through this.
Right, because I think one of the things, probably one of the bigger stressors for everybody is you don't know when this is going to be over or slow down, or there's just, you don't know. It could be in a month, it could be in a year. I mean, you just don't know.
Right. And I think what we have been most concerned about is not necessarily this immediate response that we have been giving to the effort, which we're very grateful to be able to do. And we have some generous donors who've helped us do that. But we're really concerned about the later effects. Evictions have been put on hold and mortgages can't be called in. So everybody's kind of like resting in that area right at the moment. Right. But by the end of summer, when those deadlines pass, those things can become real, and we're very concerned about the future. So we've tried to keep our focus on, okay, what do we need to do now, but what do we need to be concerned about in the future? So will we have enough? We're working on making sure we have enough case managers and enough people to talk to the extra folks we will see who need a conversation. They don't necessarily need a food box right now. They need a conversation about life and how they can keep living it.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just talk. Well, I'm going to backtrack. One of your new joint efforts is with the food bank for the Heartland. And again, like you said, the food piece, making sure people now have enough to eat, because a lot of people are laid off and they don't have jobs, or, I mean, just there's so many different things happening in everybody's life. But talk about that relationship and how kind of that came to be.
Well, we have an ongoing relationship with the food bank. They provide us food at our food pantry at 61st and Northwest Radio. They're a constant provider for us. In addition to that, we partner with them during the summer with a program we call Kids Cruising Kitchen, where we take meals out to those kids that are marginalized throughout the summer who don't have meals that they would normally get during the school year at school. And so that partnership that we already had with them really lent to us all getting together at mid-March and saying, hey, what are we going to do about this? And then so then we worked with OPS and some other partners. We have some other folks who deliver meals as well. And we're all doing our part to hopefully catch those folks who don't get a meal from the school but still need something from another organization. And that's been a really good partnership. The food bank has been wonderful in heading up and spearheading that entire effort, and we're grateful to be a partner with them.
Yeah. So I want to talk. You've talked about immediate needs, so food. So like, what can somebody do today or next week or within the next month to help you? Do you need them to drop off canned goods? I mean, what do you need right now?
Well, I think right now we really do need. We kind of need both. We need food. The food bank actually has things have kind of settled down again in the food delivery system for the food bank. So they're getting food again. There was a moment where we were all having trouble making sure we could keep our pantries filled to help people.
Okay.
But we feel like that's a little better now, but we can always use food there. So if anybody wants to drop off a non-perishable food item at 61st and Northwest Radio, they're certainly welcome to do so. That'd go a long way. Just do your best to make sure that it's not an expired food product.
Yes.
That really helps us
Yeah.
if it's not expired. But you can always donate money too. There's always, because we can leverage $1 much farther than most people can leverage it at the grocery store. Like if you go to the grocery store and buy something, like I just bought chicken yesterday at $7.99 a pound. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I know other people are feeling that whole kind of thing, but we can leverage that $1 much farther through the food bank, through other sources that we have that would allow us to take that money farther than they would normally on their own.
Right.
And they can donate at. I know you're probably going to run this, but they can donate at salarmyomaha.org. There's a donate button there, and they can go right there to donate.
Perfect. Well, we've got about 1 minute left, so looking ahead, and then I will be following up with you like in the next 2 or 3 months just to kind of see where we're at.
Great.
You know, you talked a little bit about anticipating the organization's needs, and it's really kind of hard to say, but I think you did kind of say it about people. What's happening now, 3 months later, is going to be a different story, and having case managers or team people being able in place to help these, whether it's emotionally or whatnot, spiritually.
Right.
Yeah.
We actually do have counseling services that we can connect them with and help them through. They're really, we're talking to a doctor who's telling us that there could be some, a special form of PTSD from this that people aren't feeling now because they're kind of hyped up about it. But when it calms down later on, they're going to be going, I'm really in trouble here. And or depression might set in or something like that from just this experience.
Yeah. And panic leads to depression. And so absolutely. Well, General Thompson, thank you. Or I'm sorry, Major Thompson.
You can call me anything. That's fine. That's okay. That's a nice promotion.
Thank you so much for joining me. And again, I'm going to look forward to having a conversation in the next month or two, just to kind of, find out where things are. are at with your organization and how
Great.
the community can help and how you're helping the community. So I just really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. You're welcome.